What's good, YouTube? Stormybman, and I'm back with another video editorial. Before we get started, I'd like to say shout out to the boxing community, and for more content such as this, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. The title of this editorial, we're calling it the Fab Five. Reminiscent of the days of the early 80s when we had the wonderful round robin of fighters that faced off against one another: Wilfredo Benitez, Sugar Ray Leonard, Roberto Duran, Tommy Hearns, and Marvin Hagler. Marvelous Marvin Hagler. Currently, we're seeing a resurgence in the same type of talent in the welterweight division, where we are seeing Showtime Shawn Porter, Keith One-Time Thurman, Danny Swift Garcia, Earl Spence Jr., The Truth, and Terrence Bud Crawford. These are today's Fab Five. But what we would also like to see is them repeat the grandeur of the fighters of yesteryear by facing off against one another. To this date, only Showtime Shawn Porter can say that he has faced at least 3 out of the 5 and has fared very well with the record of 2-1, defeating Keith One-Time Thurman and Danny Swift Garcia. He lost a close decision to Earl Spence Jr. and has yet to face Terrence Bud Crawford. And at this point, looks like he's not going to face him. He's saying that they're friends. We can remember the dates when friends were chomping at the bit to fight each other the most because they could get the most out of it through fanfare and the purse that that fight would call for in the ring. Next would be Earl Spence Jr., who just turning 30 years old, has yet to face anyone outside of Showtime Shawn Porter, but he has faced the one who has the most experience at the division. Swift Danny Garcia is on his radar coming up soon. The thing about this, people, we have all of this talent in this division. Bud Crawford considered pound for pound the best fighter in the sport. Earl Spence considered the best at the division. Keith One-Time Thurman was once considered the successor and heir to Floyd Mayweather, and Danny Swift Garcia, who thinks he's the best out of everyone. Showtime Shawn Porter has faced the best out of all of the other 4. These men need to fight one another. There's no doubts about that. And I had said in many conversations with other content creators and being on various panels, these guys, if they were to face off and square off with at least having one match to face all of the other fighters, no one would come out of this undefeated. Their styles are so diversified that these men bring equal challenge to the other. They're all roughly around the same age, the eldest being 32 years old. A couple of them are 32, one of them is 31, one is 30. How much closer can you be as far as prime years of fighting? Please do not let this go away. These men need to fight each other. If they do not face off against one another, we will never ever know who is the best of this era, regardless of who you like, regardless of what you think, regardless of whatever their merits and accomplishments end up being. If they haven't faced each other, they will never have defined what it is to be at the top. Leonard, Hagler, Duran, Hearns, and Benitez all fought one another because they tried to prove themselves in the sport in their prime at a point when legacy really stood for something. And so is it that way for the history books for these guys. Let me know what you think, and let's discuss. That's all I have for you at this time. This is Stormybman. Till the next time we speak, peace.